This is the Riot Podcast.
And we're back.
Back to normal.
Hopefully you enjoyed some of the throwback podcast editions that we did while we were doing our Radio U Fall Fundraiser.
Hey, so those were, this podcast not as good as those because those were like classics. These are new classics.
Well, maybe one of these might become, the thing down the road that everybody likes to hear.
So today in the podcast, we talk about Blade Runner, Taco Bell, Canadian Thanksgiving, which is today. By the way.
Happy Canadian Thanksgiving Day if you're a listener in Canada.
We food fight Cookies and Scream M&Ms, and we try to reinflate a balloon with a hairdryer.
Did it work? You'll have to keep listening.
You'll have to see. Also, and finally, we talk about the problem that I have with the Xbox, which is... It's a problem.
It's big.
It's a problem.
And we talked to the guys in Danger Scene. They have a new song out, American Dream, which we talk about with them.
All right. So you guys enjoy the podcast. Nikki and I will just be here trying to look busy.
Back to that, right?
That's right.
I'm so glad we're back to our normal schedule.
I really missed it.
Here, wait. Type on your keyboard.
I got
you just have to make some loud noises over there.
I can't believe this won't work. So angry.
Throw the handset on the phone down and stuff and do all that stuff. Be like, oh my gosh, get in here. We're having a meeting. And then that's our whole day.
It's the whole day. It is the riot.
Sometimes a bad example is the best example. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
This weekend, Blade Runner 2049.
2049.
Thank you, Nikki.
You're welcome.
That came out, and everyone's like, it's a flop. It's not doing well. Now, it was number one at the box office.
But that doesn't mean anything. They expected it to do better than it did based off the PR and when it was coming out compared to any other blockbusters around it, that sort of stuff.
They were expecting it to make somewhere in the neighborhood of $50 million. Mm-hmm. It made about 31.
I think it made 50-something internationally.
It did, but internationally, it was number 2. There was a movie from China that ended up being like tops at the international box office over the weekend, but I can't remember what the name of that one was. But, everybody's like, China will save us, but maybe not. So they're still running around 80 million total on this one. I'll have to say, I saw it.
Yeah.
And watching it, I walked out of it wondering who that movie was for.
And that they brought up, because it was R, and they said that a lot of times, though, it has to have more of a comedy lean to it to bring in...
To be an R-rated movie that makes the big bucks.
Yes, and we're talking like, the 50, 60, 70, 80 million dollars that they would like, but there wasn't really a true, target demo that you could really point to expect to go see it.
I felt like the target demo for that movie was people that loved the original Blade Runner.
Sure.
And here's the thing you have to understand is that there's a lot of people that movie tanked. I mean, it's found an audience. People love it now. But if you go back in time, people thought very little of it. Well, now you've got this kind of critical darling 30-year-old movie they've made a sequel to that they are painstakingly recreating. Now, recreating is not fair, but, they want a movie that looks and feels like that one does.
Yeah.
And it's 3 hours long.
They're saying it's
2 hours and 40 minutes.
It's way too artistic.
Yeah.
For that sort of, money.
I just feel like it's a movie that will not find a mainstream audience.
Yeah, I agree.
And in order to make the big bucks.
But boy, they really wanted to. And I thought it would do way better based off, because for me,
there was a lot of hype.
I don't feel like they really targeted me at it, but I was experiencing the hype from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
And so I expected, since I saw the hype machine really trying to make it, I was like, I expected it to do 60 or 70 million.
Yeah.
And then I saw it, I was like, oh no, that's not what they wanted.
I feel like the length chased a lot of people off.
Sure.
I actually saw 2 different people on Twitter that were like, I was going to go see it, but it's too long.
Well, I saw one article where they're like, women like Ryan Gosling, so why wouldn't they sit through a 3-hour movie for him?
Staring at him?
Exactly. And they're like, except forget the fact that you don't care about the actual movie itself, but they were really thinking women would just go out in flocks to see him.
He's excellent.
But, not for that length.
It's not long.
And not for that.
Nikki, that's like going to dinner with Ryan.
See, for me, I felt like the trailer was enough for me. I didn't need to see the movie. It was artistic. It was well done. It was like, hey, great.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, my feelings on that movie are complicated. I've thought about it a lot over the weekend, and I don't think, the more I've thought about it, I don't think I like it as much as I did when I first saw it. I would like to see it again, but I don't feel like they managed to pack the punch that the original did, which is amazing. The original is like 90 minutes or what is it, like 100 minutes or something like that. This movie is 2 hours and 40 minutes. Though I will tell you, it's the best. It might be the best looking movie I've ever seen, or darn close.
So second after Blade Runner here, not internationally, was The Mountain Between Us, and then It was number 3. They also said It took...
I thought My Little Pony was second.
No, that was 4.
Huh. Well, whatever I looked at was wrong.
It, though, they also said took a lot of Blade Runner's pizzazz going into it.
I'm sure.
Because it is still making a lot of money, and that was like what everybody talked about.
Well, they're still saying, like, hey, maybe word of mouth will save, quote-unquote, Blade Runner. That ain't happening. Like, they're going to have a really bad second weekend. If you weren't going to see
it the first weekend, you are not going the second weekend.
The Riot.
Apparently, some of the less athletic types go nuts for this stuff.
Radio U.
Hey, who is up for some Taco Bell breakfast?
It's actually pretty good.
It's not bad.
I like Taco Bell breakfast.
I felt like it was a little bland.
Sure.
I feel like it looks pretty good, but it seems to lack in flavor. Though putting the maple syrup on the chicken taco or whatever, that was pretty good.
Even though I also think they change it up, I feel like, so that sometimes I'll go with pretty good space of distance between the trips.
Sure.
And then I come back, I'm like, wait, what about the one thing? And then that's gone.
Well, let's talk about the one thing, Nikki. What about chicken and biscuits?
Oh.
That sounds pretty good, right?
Talking our love language right there. Chicken and biscuits.
So here's what they're looking at. I think they're just testing it. Let's see. Knoxville, Tennessee is where... Oh, no. Knoxville's getting something else. Forget that. So it looks like maybe it's going to go nationwide. So the idea is you get a little cup, and in that you'll have triangle-shaped biscuits and triangle-shaped chicken pieces.
And the
chicken and biscuits.
Chicken and biscuits. No gravy or anything?
That looks like ketchup they're dipping it in, if you want to know the truth. I don't know what that's supposed to be. It really does look
like that.
Right? And then the other thing they're putting the chicken chips in a quesadilla. So a chicken chip quesadilla.
Someone thawed out the big bag of the chicken chips, didn't they?
Exactly right. They must have got a real discount.
They're back again.
They were like, hey guys, Tyson just had to do a chicken recall. We can buy all that.
We got a really good deal.
It's no problem. We just put it in a blender.
So their chicken chips, I think, did pretty well for them. Enough to where they're just trying to sprinkle it back in every so often.
Ooh, for $5, you can get the chicken chip tortilla and a Doritos Locos taco.
Great.
With a medium drink.
Great.
For $5.
Well, I think I would like to try the chicken and biscuit, but that looks way dry. Like there's no gravy or no, I don't want to dip that in ketchup, so I don't quite know what I would do with it.
I'd totally dip a biscuit in ketchup. I've done it.
Well, yeah, you like ketchup a lot.
I know, it's good. So just go for it.
That's not weird to you.
So Knoxville, Tennessee, they're testing the Bacon Ranch Naked Chicken Chalupa. Way too many adjectives in that.
No, okay, back to the fluffy biscuits. I'm not done with that one yet.
Sorry, my bad.
What they're calling fluffy biscuit triangles are paired with chicken chips and a choice of sweet and spicy jalapeno honey or a nacho cheese dipping sauce.
So what I thought was ketchup was...
That's a spicy jalapeno honey sauce.
Oh, that sounds way worse to me.
And that's only available in Indianapolis for right now.
That sounds way worse to me. The jalapeno dipping sauce.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it could work or something.
Well, here's my thought is, if you tell me that and we're going to like a restaurant, that's probably okay.
A glaze.
But when you're telling me that Taco Bell has jalapeno honey dipping sauce, that is the lowest possible...
Is that where the line is? Apparently, that's too much.
Well, I mean,
in the history of Taco Bell stuff,
to be clear,
that's
Nikki,
it.
When you've got a Taco Bell, you've already made a run for the border. So once you get there, you still have to maintain some kind of a standard. So I'll take that chicken and cheese. And do you guys have any? They probably don't even have ketchup at Taco Bell.
You don't have to apologize unless you've done something wrong.
Well, I'm sorry. I can't even think straight right now.
This is the worst of the riot. We're very, very sorry.
Nikki, I'm really looking forward to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know, doing Thanksgiving, having some time off, doing Black Friday because I love it. But here's the thing. If you and I were Canadians...
This is our Thanksgiving.
We wouldn't be looking forward to Thanksgiving.
Did it already happen? Or
today would be Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, yeah.
It's today. Canadian Thanksgiving. Do you know that Canadian Thanksgiving, it's a lot like American Thanksgiving, but it's not all like American Thanksgiving.
Take time off, though. Enjoy a large meal with family.
It is and isn't a national holiday. There are a couple of Canadian places where it's an optional holiday. But we do a 4-day weekend. They do a 3-day weekend. Their pumpkin pies, they say, are more spicy, where ours are more sweet. Canadian pumpkin pie is spicy with ginger, nutmeg, cloves, and cinnamon, and we're just like put a lot of sugar in it.
Sure.
I wanted some Canadian pumpkin pie. Canadians bake their sweet potatoes or put them in a puree, whereas we put butter, sugar, and spices in a casserole topped with marshmallows.
That sounds delicious.
That really does sound good.
I love that casserole.
Did you know that in Canada today, like, they're having the Thanksgiving Day Classic? That is a Canadian Football League doubleheader. So, whereas in the U.S., we're like, man, we're going to be watching the NFL.
Yeah, they have their version.
Canadian Football Classic. That's 2 games that are played today.
Nice.
So if you want to take some time and watch some Canadian football.
Today's your day because you have the day off if you took that.
So last year, I think you took some day off in October, and Hudson came in because they had basically whatever the heck the Canadian Super Bowl is. He came in and told us all about it. Yeah, because he watches Canadian football because he's from Canada. He was born in Canada.
Born there, very small time.
He lived there for like a whole month, but he just really owns that.
He can still claim it. He can still say that.
No, it was longer than that, and he had to do a bunch of stuff for citizenship. But he was Canadian. Now he's American, and he does 2 Thanksgivings.
Well, that's
probably.
nice. Yeah, I was going to say you could have both with your family still in Canada, and then you've got your U.S. Thanksgiving.
I'd like to have 2 Thanksgivings.
2 holidays?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of us do. I mean, depending on how many families that you go visit and stuff, you can make that happen.
We could make it happen. Like, we should do that. We should have 2 Canadian... we should have 2 Thanksgivings. We'll do Canadian Thanksgiving. And that, Nikki, that's like a multicultural experience. You could actually say, like, you know what, I'm celebrating now other countries and other cultures. Today we're celebrating.
Holidays.
Yeah,
Are you saying that in a way like you're letting our boss know that you will not be available for anything past the show today because it's a holiday?
I think that shows
Does it speak volumes?
It does. It speaks volumes. It shows that we're locked hand in hand and arm with our Canadian cousins.
How could we not celebrate when we have so many wonderful Canadian listeners?
Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do today. Here's what we'll do. What do we do for Cinco de Mayo? We always go out and have Mexican food. Well, today for Canadian Thanksgiving, we're going to go out and have Canadian food.
I want a spicy pumpkin pie.
Let's hit up that Canadian restaurant that we all know about. Is anybody?
It's delicious, isn't it?
I'm looking forward to it.
It is.
Some Canadian cuisine.
No, okay, wait. What's the place that had on their menu poutine? Which one is that?
In Canada, it's everywhere.
No, here. Some place was like, oh, yeah, it's part of the appetizer.
I don't know. But I'd like to go have some. Was it?
Maybe.
I think that sounds... Look. I don't think that's right.
It is right. Red Robin poutine. You can keep talking.
Well, I got nothing else.
I think they do an appetizer. Yes, they do.
But is it poutine in the United States?
Yeah, it is. It's here.
Okay. Oh, and look, here's the second return in Google. Red Robin launches boozy new Oktoberfest menu.
That's American. That's that.
No.
Oh, yeah, they have some promotion with Thor, too, so that's also looking American.
Really?
Yeah.
When Thor's hungry, Thor needs bottomless fries. That's how he maintains his physique.
Well, happy Canadian Thanksgiving.
Well, and happy Canadian Thanksgiving to you, Nikki.
Thank you so much. Don't forget the spicy pumpkin pie.
I would love that. And don't forget to watch Canadian football this afternoon. Hudson said you can watch it, at least before, you can watch it through the ESPN app. So I don't know if that's still true, but that might be an option.
Which channel is that one on?
No, you got to log in for that.
We thought about selling the worst of the riot, but let's be honest, no one is buying this stuff. Get it for free on the Radio U app.
I heard Nick talking about it, and we mentioned it briefly at some point last week, but Netflix made their announcement that they were raising prices. And I want to know, Nikki, did you even care at all?
No one cares. You're still going to pay for it.
That's the part that kills me.
That you know that you're just there. You're fine. You're still going to pay it. You're just like, whatever.
You didn't even blink.
Maybe didn't even remember what you have been paying for Netflix this entire time.
The response that I got from people on social media was just like,
whatever.
Get back to me when I care. It's like,
I know.
whatever.
It's like, the whole thing with you're in the pot and they just slowly keep turning the water up, and before you know it, you've been boiled, but you have a lot in your queue, and there's nothing you can do about it. And Stranger Things 2 is coming out, so they know they got you there.
They definitely have you there.
You're not just going to be like, well, that's it, I'm going to cancel it. So I doubt many people would.
Well, here's the thing that I wonder is that, let's see, what is it, like 11? I think it's going to be $13.99 if you end up doing the
4K plan, yeah.
The 4K plan. Okay, $13.99, and I'm paying it. Well, forever, HBO, I think, is $15, and I just, forever, I've been like, that's just too much. $15? That's so ridiculous. I'm not paying HBO $15 for anything. Part of that is because I actually don't want HBO. I don't care. But that being said, the idea that now I'm almost paying that much for Netflix, and I was just like, it's fine.
Well, I think
Read, buddy. If you need to chuck a couple bucks on there, I got you.
But I feel like that's different, though. To me, the HBO app is one network compared to Netflix, where I'm getting a lot of crappy networks all pushed together.
Yeah, but it's getting scary out there because $14 for Netflix, and now there's the CBS All Access thing. No, I'm not getting it, but whatever. A friend of mine's getting it. They're letting me.
I bet you one day the only thing we have to watch, and don't say a friend if you really mean you. You've got to be honest if it's going to be you.
What if it's going to be
for
me?
For the CBS? Yeah,
no. That literally
says a friend.
That literally is a friend.
It is a friend.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm worried about is as networks hate each other and then they break up, like Disney's leaving Netflix.
I know.
So then goes, and I'm not like craving the Disney catalog, but it's an example of they pick up, take all their stuff with them for their own thing. So 20 years down the road, Netflix might not have the networks with them because all of the networks will be on their own apps.
That's exactly right. And then you're going to be paying $20 per thing. In the end, you're going to get way more ripped off than you are now.
Way more.
In fact, I'll bet we start going back to cable because it becomes the cheaper alternative to all the streaming services.
No, I'm just giving up on all of it.
You're just quitting?
I guess I don't want to watch anything.
Well, like for me, I took a look at, this is going to sound ridiculous to everybody, but I love 30 Rock. And so at different times of the year, I like to watch 30 Rock. Yeah, I'll bring it back. I'll watch a couple episodes. Well, it's no longer on Netflix. It's been on Netflix for like 10 years or something stupid, like forever. And now it's only available on Hulu.
Isn't that a ripoff? It's like, why did it need to move?
I know.
That's money right there. Well, they sold out.
You know what I actually thought to myself? I was like, okay. So you can go to Hulu for $10 a month or whatever, but what would it cost to just buy 30 Rock? Like, what if I just bought the show?
And figure it out? How much is it?
But I don't know. I haven't looked at it yet. I made a little note to look into that because it was like, okay, you think about shows that you've bought the entire season of whatever, I could just own it. Like, then I wouldn't have to screw around with anything. Like,
that's
done.
Fascinating.
Yeah, almost like, think about this. If you bought an entire TV show on disc, now that's
old school.
That's a wild thought,
like,
right?
Wait a minute. I don't know.
But then I don't have to. It doesn't matter where they go or who they whatever. Like, I'll just have it.
Let's just know that as we fast forward through these years, you're not the main priority. None of us are. So, like, they're not going to be doing this so we get a great deal and all the content.
No, it's the opposite.
We're the one getting the short end of the stick, and that's just how that'll keep getting worse and worse.
All right, the entire 30 Rock, all 7 seasons, $95.
Bet you can get that cheaper somewhere else.
It looks like,
and then they wonder why most people don't realize when they're pirating stuff. It's like you just wonder.
I didn't say it.
Just wonder why.
But she's got a really good point.
It's like no one even realizes anymore.
She's got a really good point.
All right, well, so yeah, for Netflix, again, I don't think any of us are canceling our subscription because it's just something you've had since the day you were born.
Doesn't it make you mad, though, that it's like, man, they are screwing with you, Nikki?
No, I just know it.
All right, you know what? I didn't either. I was just like, okay, it's fine.
There's no reason for us to get upset when nothing comes from being upset.
Well, I mean, ulcers and high blood pressure.
Why we shouldn't. We should be thinking about our health.
Okay.
So we don't need to worry about it. And just is.
Don't worry about it, guys.
The worst of the riot has no expiration date. It's born spoiled. It's the riot on Radio U.
I'm glad not only is the Fall Fundraiser over.
It's over?
But it's nice to be back and have a chance to catch up with Danger Scene as well.
So Danger Scene is on the phone. Good morning, Danger Scenes.
Good morning, guys. How are you doing?
Doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing very good. We finished up our fundraiser. I know you guys on Friday released new music as well, so we're happy to have a new full week of being funded and to have new Danger Scene music too.
I feel like that goes hand in hand is new Danger Scene music and fully fundedness.
I feel good about that. I really do. So talk to us, guys. How are you doing?
Doing good. We just got off of a 2-week tour. We were playing a thing called High School Nation. So essentially it was like little mini festivals at these high schools, and it was really, really fun. And then obviously there's the new single coming out. That's a lot of work into that, and we're just excited to have that out.
So that's Danger Scene, the band. What about you guys?
You always like to know personally,
the
too.
individuals. What have the two of you been doing?
Well, shoot.
You threw him for a loop there.
It's been 2 weeks of being sick, actually.
Aw, OB2 as well.
On this last tour, it's been interesting.
So, have you guys think, like, has it been allergies, or has it been like?
Are you trying to figure out to compare?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
It's absolutely the Matthew got us all sick, and so it's just been bad after that. I'm catching my flu early, and that way the rest of the year is fine.
You can be okay.
That's a great idea, but I don't want it. So I'm glad this is a phone call.
Even though I don't think I don't think you had a flu. I think you just had a cold or allergies.
I didn't. That's what I'm saying is I don't want what they have.
You don't want anything extra with that.
No, I'm not interested in that.
I don't want what we have.
Okay. So, you guys talk to us about American Dream.
New song.
We're going to play that new song. What's it about?
American Dream is just really about just like what we've been seeing going on here. I mean, in America, and just this kind of like a mindset that people have. Honestly, it was just realizing that like even though there's been a lot of divisiveness and a lot of stuff in politics lately, but like I think a lot of people, like myself, and we're doing fine, and we're still like searching for that American dream. We're still searching for get more money, get more things, be more popular, that kind of stuff. And it doesn't help at all. Mm-hmm. Kind of like that. I don't know.
Okay, no, that sounds pretty
right
accurate.
Up exactly how it is nowadays for a lot of people.
It's one of those things where it's like I don't really want to be popular, but here's my handle. Please follow me.
The pressure of it too.
It's like you have to do that to like keep moving forward, especially like in music or anything. Everybody wants more likes on Instagram, more retweets on Twitter and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's just all kind of useless in the end. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. So, as far as making the song, like, what'd you guys do? Who produced it?
We had Josiah Prince from Disciple again produce it. Like, we get along with him super well. And, we actually, like, we went into, wanting to do just one song, and we just didn't really have anything that we were super excited about. So we kind of built it from the ground up, which he's really, really good at doing because, I don't know, we just work really creatively with him, and so it worked out really, really well.
Great. Now, when you say that you didn't really have necessarily an idea, so you went in that did you go in with the lyrics or like what you wanted to talk about, or how did that work?
Or completely build it from the ground up?
We had, I generally either have just the lyrics or just like the music part down. So this song I had a musical idea of what I wanted to accomplish, but I had nothing like melody-wise or lyric-wise that was like set in stone. So we kind of built the lyrics from the ground up, found a couple lines I'd written that I liked, and so we just kind of built off of those.
Okay, we're talking to Danger Scene about their new song, American Dream.
Which came out Friday, which is, like I mentioned, when we finished our Radio U Fall Fundraiser as well.
It was meant to be.
So it'll be your chance to hear it now. And, of course, that'll be featured on the Radio U Battle of the Buzz for this week.
Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging with us.
Heck yeah. Thanks, guys. Good.
All right, hang on 1 second.
Hang tight again for Danger Scene to always stay up to date. Make sure you check out RadioU.com. American Dream, brand new music from them, which came out just this past Friday.
The Riot's motto, Carpe Cupcake. Those are words to live by. Radio U.
Over the weekend, McDonald's dropped the Szechuan-shaped ball.
It was just not pleasant. If you're like, what happened at McDonald's over the weekend, then you're probably not a Rick and Morty fan.
So here's the deal. Rick and Morty, the show, passionate fan base, still haven't watched it. I apologize. But it's this whole thing. I don't even understand all of it, but apparently they have a great love for McDonald's Szechuan sauce.
That's been around, or it was around.
Like sometime in the 90s.
Something like that, but it's been this mythical thing, and they said, okay, for McDonald's, we're going to be releasing this sauce back for one day. And when I went into the weekend with it, because Eric really likes it, not the sauce, but the show. He was like, okay, I'm going to go to one of the McDonald's. I thought there was a lot of McDonald's which were having the sauce.
Right.
In our city, there was one.
Oh, really?
One.
So did they announce the stores in advance that we're going to have it?
People knew, so you could go and find out. Again, I thought, take your pick. I'm sure there's a handful or at least more than one. But no, one was downtown on campus.
They were very upfront about the fact that it would be limited, but nobody knew how limited it would actually be.
Well, some of them did not get the deliveries in time, they said.
Okay.
Some got like 20 packets. When Eric went, he stopped around lunchtime. There was already a line of around over 200 people already. So it was a case of really depend on the McDonald's where you're at. But Rick and Morty fans are so passionate, they got really mad.
Oh.
Passionately mad.
Furious. Like if you take a look at McDonald's Twitter over the weekend, like it is nothing but jammed full of incredibly angry people.
If you're a fan of something and they say they're going to have it, you go there, and they said people started lining up the night before at a lot of the McDonald's locations, and you'd have a line of like 50 people even before, just overnight, and you only had 20 packets.
Yeah, there were a lot of them. I'm looking at one, some guy named Brandon tweeted, 10 posters, 20 packets. 4 hours before the store had opened, there were over 30 people in line.
So then they should have just stopped people then and there and said, hey, there's no more, but people would still wait in line, and that's when people get really mad.
I honestly feel sorry for the McDonald's stores, like the people that worked there, because you got to understand, somebody in an office at corporate dreamed this up and put it together. Then you've got Jill. Jill's 17. She works Saturdays at McDonald's to help pay for her car insurance.
Or overnights when people start randomly come to line up at her store.
And she went to work on Saturday morning. She wishes that she could stay in bed like a lot of her friends do at school, but she's responsible. And on Saturday, she went to work, and there was some really long line, and she wasn't sure why. And then she found out about it, and then she spent the rest of her shift being yelled at by a lot of people because she didn't have any Szechuan sauce, which she'd never heard of until that day.
There was a lot of people posting video of a lot of angry vocal people.
Yeah.
So McDonald's apologized and said,
with the weakest tweet ever.
Yes, they did. I'm glad you thought that was pretty weak too. But now, because of the anger and the demand of it, they're supposed to do another Szechuan sauce like repeat thing, and I bet you there'll be plenty to go from, because they were going on eBay. People were trying to sell them for like $15,000, and that's not. I
mean, come on.
So wait, give it time, and McDonald's, I think, is going to try to make it up to everybody.
That no good. No good. It was no good from the start. I will tell you, not even a fan, but even I have become curious, like, man, they won't shut up about this Szechuan sauce. I want to go see what it's like. And I thought to myself, I don't want to get in the middle of that. That's going to be crazy times. And it was totally crazy.
Because they only had it at so few locations. Like if you would have had it at more McDonald's, then you would have been just fine.
They needed a larger rollout. Or you know what? Your McDonald's. I love this. This guy tweeted that.
Oh, the one it's like, you make sauce.
It's sauce. This is the guy, Derek. He tweets at McDonald's. It's sauce. Why is it super limited? You're a global chain, and making enough sauce for one day is too hard. Wendy's would have crushed this.
And I think too, like, okay, you order food and you do this every day. So the fact that some locations didn't get their sauce, like that's nothing new. You do this. That's your company's thing. You send food to the place. You get it there on time. You do your stuff.
Yeah.
Again, if you're a Rick and Morty fan, they're supposed to try to do something, but they're just happy that we've been talking about them this whole time.
I don't think they are.
Was that bad over the weekend?
Not in this case.
A lot of angry people.
The Riot talks about wanting a day off, but when do we get a day off from them?
Whoa! You suck at this!
It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
Are you hard on yourself at all? Like, I know some people that are and some people that aren't. I like being around people that aren't hard on themselves because typically they go easy on you too. You know what I
True.
mean? They're like, oh, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Well, sometimes we're hard enough on ourselves that you don't need anybody else to help with it because we're doing just fine.
No, I've got a relationship with God. God and I talk every single day, sometimes more than others, of course. And it's funny, in talking to God yesterday, one of the things that he said to me was, why don't you just go easy on yourself there, bud? It's just like, huh? What are you talking about? You don't understand, God. This is serious. And it was just like,
Hey, no yelling at him.
Hey, God and I, let me tell you what, you'd be amazed. Anyway. But just in that conversation, it's funny. I have a tendency to think like, you would not think this if you spent time with me. You would never think this. But on the inside, total perfectionist. You wouldn't think that. You wouldn't. You'd never know it. You would never know it.
Not with your 2-chord system. We would never think that.
You would never know it.
But your desire to be.
Yeah, it's completely different. I don't think work's that important. It's in the stuff that I think is actually important. That's where I start getting super intense. Probably way too intense. And, you would think, honestly, wouldn't you think that if you were going to have a conversation with God, don't you think he'd be hard on you? Don't you think that he'd want to spend a lot of time going over your faults, going over all the ways that you messed up, talking about all the different ways you fell short? Don't you think that's the kind of conversation that God would want to have with you? He's so perfect, you're so not, and he would spend that time kind of reminding you of how great he is and how great you aren't? But see, that's not the way it is at all. In fact, God's greatness is revealed in his ability to overlook all the places that you fall short. That's who God is. And I got to tell you, I need that. The relationship I have with God, him reminding me hey, I can go easy on you. Maybe you should go easy on yourself. I'm amazed at who God really is. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe what maybe you've heard, or experience it for yourself. Get to know Jesus for who he is. Because of all the years that I've been in a relationship with God, he still surprises me when I spend time with him. If you don't have that, I'm telling you, get to know Jesus for yourself. Say, Jesus, I want that. I want you to come into my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I want to know what you're really like. And when I tell you that God is great, I think you'll be amazed by what that actually means. It's amazing how much he can just be right there in your little moment with you, loving you and just being there.
Ever wonder what Nikki is doing when she isn't rioting? Find her Twitter feed at riot.radiou.com. Obadiah's is there too, but who cares what he's doing? Food fight.
Bag of M&Ms.
I have a bag of M&Ms right here. Cookies and Scream M&Ms.
So if you want to join us on our Radio Riot YouTube channel, we post a lot of our food fights. You can actually watch some of them. And including from last week, we played Mario Kart for Obadiah Plays. And we did a pumpkin spice YouTube taste testing. But this is the Halloween one.
All right. So cookies and... No, Nikki, it's a fall costume.
Do they put that on there?
I don't actually know.
It's Cookies and Scream, so it's dark chocolate and white chocolate, like an Oreo, but not.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Oreo-esque. The smell is just M&M's like. I am really...
Dark chocolate and white chocolate M&M's. I get a lot of dark chocolate.
Yeah, it really does have a different flavor.
I wish it was like an Oreo cookie. Man.
At the end of the day, didn't you just want an Oreo?
I did, and I'm just breaking them now, aren't I?
Aren't there some more Oreos in the break room?
There's just so much chocolate. Too much. I need the peanut in there. I do. I need it to break up.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't like it very much. Well, okay. I feel very indifferent towards it because
that's the worst.
It's just chocolatey. You can... Maybe.
If there was cookie pieces in it, wouldn't that be really good?
I think there is a little. I think inside the candy shell, they have put something.
I don't know. It just feels like chocolate.
Same. No, it's there. It's very subtle, though.
It's the Cookies and Scream M&Ms.
Nikki, you are shockingly dismissive of this. You were just
I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with you. You do nothing. Nothing.
The amount of excitement that you had leading into it.
Nothing.
And then you're just like, that's it. I'm out.
Well, I don't need it in my life anymore. You may have the bag now. I don't even want any for later. I just don't understand.
What is wrong with you?
I don't like it. I mean, it's not bad. It's just not like I wanted a cookie M&M, a cookie Oreo M&M.
You are backpedaling. That was an intensely personal reaction.
Because I was looking forward to eating them during the entire fall fundraiser. And we waited and I was patient. And when you wait, it's like you're waiting for this movie for 2 years.
Sure.
And then in theaters, you're sitting there and you're like, oh my gosh. And then finally you watch it or you eat the Cookies and Scream M&M and it's just, it's fine.
I feel better about it than you did.
Sure.
Obviously.
You're not disappointed.
Nobody is
It's also because it could be a Monday thing.
Could be.
I'm just
Could be.
disappointed overall.
I think it's okay. I wouldn't buy it again. I'm with you. I think that M&Ms are at their best when they just give you a straight peanut M&M.
You have to, if not, it's just too much chocolate to want to eat more than that. But
I mean, I kind of like the peanut butter M&Ms, but even with that, if I'm going to go chocolate and peanut butter, just give me some Reese's.
I would have liked that if it had
Reese's.
chunks of cookies.
Whatever.
Somehow, even if the M&M needed to be bigger. If it was an M&M around an Oreo cookie, let's work on that.
I think you just want an Oreo.
No, I don't. I want an M&M Oreo.
Well, what about, is it Tammy, I think it is, that every Christmas always brings us those chocolate dipped where you take an Oreo and you just douse it in chocolate?
Yeah, we
That's
have
what
a
you're
listener.
actually looking
That's
for.
Pretty much.
A chocolate-covered Oreo.
I want the white chocolate ones.
Oh, those are good too. You know what I really like?
That's it.
While we're on just dunking stuff, I
Yes.
like to, you get 2 Ritz crackers and put peanut butter in the middle.
And then
you put that in chocolate.
Now put that in M&M. What's so hard?
And Nikki, at that point, it's not an M&M anymore, okay?
It can be. It can be. I have vision, and I'm frustrated because I don't know how to make it happen.
Well, to be clear, I don't want to frustrate your vision, okay? But
This is it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they'll be in the break room if anybody wants them. The M&M's Cookies and Scream.
Yeah.
White chocolate Oreos. Or not Oreos. See? Look.
See what
M&Ms.
you did there? They're just M&Ms. You know what, Nikki? Sometimes you just have to enjoy things, people, for what they are, not what they aren't.
I put some
You
away more.
pushed it farther down the table.
It's the worst of the riot because calling it the best of the riot would be a lie. Radio U.
By hook and by crook, I have acquired enough money to purchase an Xbox One X.
So we're going with that?
You know what? It depends. Here's something that I'm tired of. Do you ever have, and maybe you don't, this could just be me, but do you ever have something that your brain won't let go of, like a dog with a bone, where it's just like no matter what you do, your brain just goes back to it?
Yeah. Well, I think most companies are banking and hoping that we all have those brains.
The
You
idea
just
of,
need to get it or...
of purchasing an Xbox One X.
Sure.
One day I'm like, I'm getting one. It'll be great. Plus, I've got friends that play. That's where most of my friends that play games play on the Xbox. And a lot of times that's your deciding factor. I have a PlayStation, so it's like, hey, I've got a PlayStation. And I'm like, you guys want to play? And they're like...
But you also like PC gaming, maybe more than a lot of your friends do, too.
Also true, Nikki.
So do you want to play by yourself or play with them?
If you want to know the truth, having friends is an illusion to me because you could say like, hey, guys, let's get together and play. It's never going to happen. It's not happening. It's just something you say. It's not something you actually do. So, that goes out. So one day I'm like, yes, I'm getting it. I'm just going to get it. That'll be it. Whatever. Then the next day I'll be like, no, I don't think I'm
going
gonna
back and
get
forth.
it. I don't think so. And this happens. I say it's day to day, but this is, I would say, minute to minute, maybe depending on the quarter hour or whatever. And I can't
get it out of your brain.
Get my brain to stop thinking about it. When I go back to zero, my brain's like, well, maybe we should get it. And I'm like, shut up. No, don't talk about it.
So where
Stop.
you're at now, where you're currently going to get it?
Right now, I'm in between, Nikki. I'm torn between two extremes.
And it's just still pre-order now, or when does it come out?
It comes out on November 9th? Let's see, Xbox One X release. It's either the 9th or the 6th.
Well, good to know that you just at least have a few more weeks of your brain tormenting you.
I'm trying, where's the release date on this stupid thing? It's one of those. It's the 6th. Oh, it's the 7th. So it's neither. It's in between. Good. Oh,
Way to go with the details.
But this is a UK site, so now we really don't.
Sometimes I I just love it.
Why didn't I just go to Amazon?
I love it.
Well, but do you ever have anything like that you can't get your brain to shut up about? Or you're just like, shut up, and it's like, well, I'll shut up once we get it.
No, not really.
Once we don't get it.
I don't see, it doesn't seem to be quite as bad as yours is.
I think I have a diagnosable disorder where it's just like sometimes...
No, it's just a quirk that makes you you.
My brain, it's just, I'm telling you, it's like dog on a bone. And I'm like, here, give it back. And it's like, you don't get it. I'm keeping it. I'm going to keep thinking about it.
And it's funny because sometimes I look over and you're just, I don't know that's going on in your head. Had no idea.
It's ridiculous. It's so stupid.
It's not stupid. It's not stupid at all. You're making it stupid.
No, it is.
It's not stupid that you want it.
No,
you're not.
Okay. That's true. It's fine to want things. We can all want things.
And the fact that you're going back and forth, that's not stupid either.
That's just, here's what I think.
Indecisive.
Here's all I need to do, Nikki. Here's what I think I need to do. Sometimes I get this way about something. What I need to do is I need them to release it. Then I need to go to the store and put it like in a cart or walk around with it. And as soon as I get it in my hands and walk around with it, I'll be like, I don't need this stupid thing. And I'll just walk right out the door. But because it's not out yet, I can't go have that experience.
Which is why you're still stuck in this.
My brain is just we should get it. Maybe we shouldn't. We should get it. Shut up. We don't want it. We want it. We're getting it. Okay, we're getting it. It's a great idea. We should totally get it. We don't want it.
That's why your eyes are twitching over there. It's okay. Can't you focus on something else and want something else until then and then do that with that?
Nikki, what I would like to do is not want anything. I would like to just say to myself, I'd like to hug myself and say, Guy, you've got everything you need.
You know what I used to do sometimes when I would be bothered by something?
What?
Is you can do like the little rubber band and flick the rubber band and then just teach yourself the pain.
Don't you understand? You'd find me upstairs. I'd have that rubber band wrapped around a chair way across the room, and I'd be doing that, and after a while, it'd just be like, doesn't even hurt.
Doesn't hurt. I can still do this. Okay.
Doesn't even hurt.
We'll help if we can.
So here's what I'm doing. I'm not pre-ordering, and when it comes out, I'm going to go to the store, I'm going to touch it, realize I don't need it, and then I'll be free. I only have, 29 days of in between now and then.
Tormented till then.
But it's fine.
Oh, it's great.
It's fine.
Thanks for telling us.
I don't wake up thinking about it, go to sleep at night thinking about it. It's fine.
The Riot believes in truth, justice, the American way, and high-speed internet. No, faster. Radio U.
You must explain. First, before you do that, let's
Hang on, I'm almost done.
We have a balloon in the studio.
It's my birthday balloon. This thing's really starting to warm up. And my birthday was back in September. And we've had a balloon in here ever since September 21st.
Now, today is Sydney's birthday.
That's right.
And Saturday is Hudson's birthday.
What?
So... the balloon has seen better days.
This is the Radio U birthday balloon. It's not Obadiah's birthday balloon anymore.
It was yours.
It's a community birthday balloon. You know, we didn't raise all the money in the Fall Fundraiser.
So we have to save money.
We don't have enough money to get every staff member their own balloon. So we have to make this balloon last.
Till my birthday
Till
in
Nikki's
February.
birthday in February.
So what we figured you can do is you can put hot air from the hot... that we have a hairdryer.
We've got a hairdryer.
On the balloon.
Don't ask why we have one. But we have one, and the idea was you heat up the balloon, and then the helium inside will expand.
And then it's like a new balloon.
Chris, this is not working.
How long is it supposed to take?
How long does it take? That was Chris's idea. He's the engineer. It seemed reasonable.
Well, push it maybe at the bottom of the balloon where the air went in.
But, it's not the hot air. You just have to heat the gas inside.
Do you have the hairdryer on hot?
Yeah.
Just making sure. Whoa, the balloon. Over here. I never blew dry my hair this morning.
With the Conair, with the Conair Gel Grips 1875, the only thing, it's hot all the time.
But I think it's not hot enough.
There's a cool button.
Sure.
So you squeeze the cool trigger, and that way you can lower the temperature without a diffuser. That's because you just want the air. The diffuser so you get the heat.
But I think it's not hot enough for our safety. But we need a hotter air thing to get. Just go talk to it.
All right. Chris, what if we... Okay.
We'll try something in the break.
Yeah, we'll try something else.
No, because I don't want something from the engineering department that might blow it up.
What do you call it? A soldering gun. But we'll blow the air across the soldering gun. It's not like we're just going to...
Can't we just buy a new balloon?
No.
Why do we have to still have this one? And I'm a balloon person.
Didn't you hear what I said about the Fall Fundraiser? We didn't get fully funded.
Yes,
which means that things have to be cut from the budget. Like the $5 balloon budget has now been slashed to 0.
I guess I didn't know we had a balloon budget to begin with.
We probably don't, but if we did, we sliced it.
I think someone was just being extra nice to you for your birthday, but we don't always all get balloons on our birthday.
I know, which is why when I saw that, I was like, I want to be extra nice to Sydney and Hudson. So I'm going to leave this in the studio for 3 weeks until it's their birthday, and then, oh, look, a birthday balloon for my birthday!
Okay, that's not what you did. You just forgot about the balloon for a good couple of weeks, and now you're just playing it off like we can get that thing to expand again.
Well, Nikki, I would have taken it out, but I didn't have on my clipboard that I was supposed to remove the balloon, so that means I don't do that.
I will turn the oven on. Let's try. Let's see.
I love the way you think. Now, I'm going to need you. I can't have the balloon hitting the elements, so I'm going to need you to stick your hand in there and hold it to make sure that it doesn't hit the element.
It's fine.
Because then it will blow up.
We'll figure something out, I guess.
I still look. I'll tell you what. If we put it over there and we tape it, it'll look like it's not falling. It'll be fine.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the Radio U network through the Radio U app or at riot.radiou.com.
So this doesn't affect you at all. That's right.